Hi, this is Jason Shatner, aka Wolffoetowtech, and in the future, I'm just going to simply just start saying Wolffoetowtech. I am coming to you through this thing called the internet, according to Boogie 2988. But today, I'm going to try to do a video that I've tried to do well over 20 plus times already, and for whatever strange reason, always something happens that interrupts me and stops me from doing this video. But today's topic is actually a week-old news story, or rumor, started by a gentleman by. It's not. It's just. It is really difficult to bring this to a point here, but this gentleman's name is Serkan Toto. He is the CEO of a research firm based out of Tokyo, Japan, and he has actually a really good long history working with various video game companies. And what else? He also has a really good history of what he says coming true. But the two tweets of concern basically state Namco Bandai is working on multiple games for the Nintendo NX, and the second tweet states that Super Smash Brothers will be a launch title for the Nintendo NX. Now, that is basically the rumor right there. Now, where I'm going to go into details on this, or possibilities, let's just be clear on that, is that many websites have, as I said already, I'm late to the party. I'm either very early or very late to the news party. So, in this case, I'm going to go and basically talk about what the other news sites have talked about, and then explain why it's not necessarily what they think it is, or may not actually happen the way they think it happens. But my favorite one is Game Explain, and I'm going to basically base generally around what they said. So, Game Explain broke these rumors to the public about a week ago, and they immediately went down the trail of thought, okay, this game is going to be a launch title for the Nintendo NX. So, it's gonna be in the first few days, and the current popular rumor is that the Nintendo NX is going to be a portable unit and a home console unit, and the portable unit is coming out this year. And I have a video explaining the rough announcement timeline that supposedly Nintendo is going to use to introduce the concept, etc., and so forth, and when it's going to be released. But that is going with the assumption that it's what Game Explain went with is it's going to be early, it's going to be coming out in the first few days, and it's going to come out on the portable. But they use the console version as the basis of what features they're going to talk about for the NX portable, not the 3DS version. And there is a lot of problems in the launch off logic they had. Now, the first horrendous failure of logic they started with is that the rumor states that it's going to be a launch title. Now, in the video game industry, it has always been that a launch title or a launch window title is not simply the first few days that the system is out, but is considered to be the launch window as in the first 6 months of the system. That is the classic long window Nintendo usually uses, and the short window, which would be 3 months. So, right there, it expands outward the possibility of time, how long it takes for them to work on the game. Now, Game Explain also went with the notion that all the team resources working on the DLC for these versions stopped because they had to start on to the NX now. Now, that is just completely wrong. First and foremost, making a few new DLC characters does not take up the entire team's energy to make the DLC characters. You have the team, you have a few people within that team that work on the DLC characters, and the rest of the team could work on porting out the game to the NX. So let's presume this is the real world, and instead of them starting working on it after they got done with Bayonetta and Corrin, they started working on the NX version shortly after this version was shipped out. Possibly before this version, because that's not unusual too. They could have started working on the early work of the NX version while they were still working on these, and then continue on from there. Which then brings out the possibilities of them actually including entirely new modes or stages or characters in it that are not in these two versions. I don't know how Game Explain chases down the crazy logic they do sometimes. But sometimes they just it's a little too staged binary sometimes with them. They sometimes forget that it only takes a few people to work on a character at a time, and there is close to 100 plus there's around 100 people working on the games. So when these games shipped out, that team probably subdivided, and a portion of that team focused more on the new NX version, and a few of the people stayed behind on these versions to bug fix and for balancing and for new DLC characters and stages. So that actually opens up the mind. And not to mention, these games were released back in 2014, late 2014. So we are in 2016. So late 2014 to late 2015 to late 2016, that is 2 years. That is right around the regular development cycle of an entirely new game for most video game publishers. Most video game companies work on a game on a 2-year cycle. So the logic of them stating that it could not be an entirely new Smash Brothers, like Smash Brothers 5, is completely broken. However, I do agree with the notion that the new Smash Brothers NX game could possibly be still a Smash 4 variation. And here's why. As they did point out with good logic, that Smash Brothers 4 is basically at the point where the game is so big and complex and deep that starting from fresh may be like a 3-year project. So all possible likelihood is there's a very good the favorable angle is that it is a Smash 4 variant. However, there is still enough time between these games coming out and when the next Smash Brothers comes out, with considering that a launch title is actually considered to be within the first 6 months of a system being out on the market, it could very well possibly be an entirely new Smash Brothers, which opens up the insanity gate of possibilities. So I'm not going to chase down that path because, to be honest, that is a pretty big swath area to chase down. So I'm going to just go with the new Smash 4 variant. And considering that it is basically 2 years from when these came out to when the next one is supposedly coming out, roughly, It could mean that there could be a new story mode. There could be new characters. There could be a lot of new stages, trophies, modes, a whole bunch of stuff. So, given the possibility, and I'm quite sure it does not take 2 years to port Smash Bros. 4 to the NX. If they were just simply porting and buffing out, adding some of the features like the DLC characters, the DLC stages, some of the refinements in the updates to Smash 4 for the NX, it could be quite simply that they already got done with the game because it wouldn't take more than a year to do that. However, as we know, there's Smash Run and there's that other mode that people don't care for in this one. And that makes up the special spot where story mode would be, or adventure. So we have now more than enough time to add new features and stages and modes and trophies and characters. So here's a possibility. I am inkling. Oh, puns. I am inkling that there will be a new mode replacing Smash Run and that other mode that people don't like, and then there will be gameplay refinements, all the adjustments and fixes that were included in these versions. I'm just flipping through the book while I'm doing that on the screen while I'm talking on the video. But so clearly all the refinements will be brought into the NX version. The question is, what are they going to do different? Now, I'm going with it's going to have a story mode or adventure mode. And they are possibly going to include, they're either going to include a lot of the DLC characters or all the DLC characters in the NX version. That would be an awesome one right there, because people have already spent enough money on DLC characters as it is, and DLC stages. They may possibly include new characters or bring back old characters. The two characters I want back are basically Ice Climbers and Wolf. Now, what they could put in is they could put in Shantae, and since they already put in Bayonetta, oh yeah, they could, Metroid is lacking characters. They could probably throw in one of the various opponents from Metroid Prime Hunters in, and there's a few more things they could play with. But there is more than enough time for them to make a adventure mode. Maybe not enough time for the portable NX version to do a story mode. I mean, like a subspace emissary. You know what? If I'm betting on anything, a new adventure mode for the portable version would be the ticket, and a story mode for the NX version. And you can go ahead, write that down. I'm calling that a new adventure mode for the portable NX version, a new story mode for the console NX version. And they are gonna include a bunch of characters, include a bunch of stages, possibly bring in all the amiibo, not all the amiibo, all the DLC characters. People start calling amiibo as DLC, and that's just like sticking in my brain. And a bunch of new trophies. I love trophies. I would also love some more like more Nintendo Chronicles or release lists, classic release lists, like they did in Brawl, where as you earn trophies, the games related to the trophies appear in a list of release games for past Nintendo systems. And that would be absolutely awesome. I love Nintendo history. I love trophies. They could never stick enough trophies into a Smash Brothers game for me. They could put 10 billion trophies in a Smash Brothers game, and I feel that that is still not enough. And given, you know what, people, you could laugh. Nintendo and its second party companies have enough history that they could make 10 billion trophies. They could. There's the Game & Watches. They could make trophies for old NES games that talk about the game. So you could actually get a trophy cartridge of Super Mario Brothers that talks about the game. And then there's trophy cartridges for Balloon Fight and so forth. And then there's a whole bunch of trophy cartridges for systems. So like, this is a Nintendo 3DS. This was released date, so on and so forth. Nintendo could just fill out stuff like that. And I'm quite sure I didn't write down very many notes on this story. I just freewheeled it. So I'm quite sure I'll think up something else really neat and interesting and throw it into another video at some later point when more information comes out. But in that case, thank you for watching my video. Please vote and comment. It's always appreciated. If you comment, I may visit your channel and comment on your videos. Feel free to share this video, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I am relatively new. I have not entirely gotten to the point where have my exact style worked out, but I am most definitely looking to improve everything about my channel in the coming years. The time scale for that is questionable. It's largely just money. I'm basically sinking money into this right now. Oh, I am losing more money putting it into the channel now than I am gaining on the ads. So for every penny I make on ads, I am spending $50. But still, you know what? Personally, to me, it's worth it to me because I simply hear and see so much video game news. I'm always looking for the newest things in Nintendo news and PlayStation news, and occasionally Microsoft and PC. And I love retro games, and I'm gonna do some reviews of books and video games and movies sometime in the future. The exact point in the future, I'm not entirely certain. But as I said, please consider subscribing to my channel. Have a wonderful day.